one language to another language. Or we can say from some language to the target language. And one more thing, if all of you want to translate from one language to another language, better you have the background of the speaker. For example, if you want to translate from one language to another language, and if you don't know about the cultural background, so when you heard them, or clear or not clear, so you cannot guess them and transfer the information from the speaker to the listener very well. You cannot. But if you know about the information or the culture of the speaker or background of the speaker, or you might transfer the information from the speaker to the translator or to the listener very well. Okay. And so right now move to the next point for research methodology. Learn with lecturer Sreyneath. Yes, I think that for teaching methodology subject, it is very hard for me when I study in that state or in that year, because I have learned a lot about how to do research, how to write a journal. But for me, I am very happy because I get a lot of knowledge. And one more way, I know how to avoid from the plagiarism when I want to get some people or my degree. And one more thing I know about the primary data and secondary data. Okay, and move to the next point. The architecture of teaching practicum. So the architecture of the teaching practicum. So all the subjects that I mentioned above are very important for our practicum. Why? The school, the teaching practicum course. Why the school just take five STEM exam and then give us or show us for our study degree or certificate? Why? Because the student is in a real situation or in practice. And to be accustomed to teach in real classroom setting. As you know, before you become a teacher, at least you have 1 or 2 or 3 times to teach at school already. So when one day, if all you want to become a teacher, so you have experience reading. So when you do not feel scared. Okay, this is the reason. And move to the next point to develop and expand its training, teaching expertise and confidence. As normal when I teach in the class. So for me, I feel safe or normal. I feel not scared of my friend because I teach in the same class. I do not scared of them because they are my friend. They not kill me. But when I join to teaching in teaching practicum, I feel afraid because I met different voice. I met different ability. So I don't know how to control the classroom very well. So these are very important points. So now my presentation is finished. But before I finish, I would like to thank you to vice director, examiner, supervisor, and all lecturer that fought or give that fought and prepare the practicum for us. Because I think that the practicum it is very important for us that we before we become a good educator. Okay, thank you. So right now I want to share this time to my group member, Mr. Sreyneath. Okay, thank you.
First of all, I would like to pay my respect to vice directors, deans, examiner, and operator. Especially, I would like to pay my respect to the audience who are present here. But today, I am so delighted that I have a chance to present about my practicum. And today, I am also responsible for lesson plan. Before we understand clearly about the basic points of lesson plan, I would like to I would like to we have to understand about this question. What is the first question is what is lesson plan? According to my study experience, lesson plan is a good way in teaching procedure, especially in conducting teaching practicum. The second question, why do I need lesson plan? The reason why that I need lesson plan, because when I have lesson plan, I can teach my student correctly. I can teach my student correctly, and I can teach my student in confidence. The second point, the third question is how can I prepare my lesson plan? When I prepare my lesson plan, student about grammar, about vocabulary, or I teach my student about reading, so I can follow my step in lesson plan. So here about kinds of lesson plan. The first point is presentation, practice lesson, application of it is TEFL. And the second point is practice review lesson, application of it is POL. So the presentation practice lesson is the teacher have to ask the student about new lesson. And the second one, practice review lesson is the teacher have to take the student about own lesson. The teacher can ask the student about vocabulary or grammar. And so here about stages of lesson plan, it's PPK. It's application of it is the same with TEFL. And then P or S or POL. So PPP is lesson opener. The teacher have to start about greeting. Greeting is the teacher ask the student about the name and ask the student about attendance. And warm up, the teacher. Warm up is the teacher ask the student about all lesson and then related with all lesson. Presentation state the student. The teacher ask the student about the lesson that teacher have to teach the student today. And practice state, the teacher try to ask the student to do exercise. Lesson closer is the teacher try to give some homework or some exercise for the student. For the second part is POS or POL. It means there are some points are different from the lesson plan about PPP. It means pre-task, main task, post-task. So these points are different. It means pre-task. The pre-task is means the teacher start his new lesson to the start his new lesson to the student. Ask the student about all lesson, and main task the student the teacher try to teach. The teacher try to teach the student about the lesson that he have to teach today. And about post-task, this point the teacher gives some exercise to the student. It means like homework, vocabulary, or some exercise that they have teach his student today. And lesson opener, and lesson closer. The teacher have remind the lesson that he have teach the student today. So this point is when the understanding about lesson plan. Before teaching practicum, before teaching practice, It is very difficult for me because I don't have experience. But I try all my best. And the second point, during teaching practicum, I try to conduct in my teaching, and I try follow about step in lesson plan to control about my times to my student. And the last point is mean after teaching practice is mean I feel confident because I got some experience in conducting teaching. I can get new knowledge to teach my student. So now my point is finished. Please invite my group member, Mr. Chan, here to continue his presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Ronsopet, for your presentation, and also thank you for your invitation. And before going to presentation about my point, I would like to pay my respect to my director, the Department of English, examiner, supervisor, and all audience in the class. Today my presentation is talking about classroom management. That is the topic. I have a question that want to answer. What is classroom management? Classroom management is the process or the way that teacher use to control the class, to manage the class, and to have the students, like we can control the student to join the class all together to make sure that the class can run smoothly. It is too easy for the teacher to share the knowledge to the student. And in this also, it also talk about good point to be improved, and resolution of the problem. So now we talk about the good points. The teacher that can share the knowledge to the student well, it need to control the class well to make sure that your student join and cooperate in the class. So it is the best way for the teacher before start the class. And in the good point also, it talking about using whiteboard, chair arrangement, well preparation, and clear instruction with the teacher. In using whiteboard, according to my teaching in the teaching practicum, I divide the whiteboard into two parts. That the first part, I can write the date of teaching and write the topic of the topic that I teach to the student. And it also writes some important word to the student, or write the form for the student that tell them about the purpose of the lesson, that after that he can get the knowledge or he can get what from this lesson. And one more part, I can write some quote or some the question that student don't understand during my teaching, so I can take note for to explain them better after I explanation already, so I can tell them about something that they don't understand. And about chair arrangement, you know that it is very important for the teacher. If the teacher prepare it well during your teaching or during my teaching, I let my student work in pair or work in the group, so it needs to divide the chair. So the student can move from one place to one place. So it is the chair is actually makeshift, and so that the student, so the teacher need to tell the student and prepare well to keep the space for the teacher to walk around the student to ask something or to have them during teaching. And one more point, we talk about clear instruction. That is also important for the teacher. You need to tell the student what is the purpose of the lesson, or you we need to clear with our lesson or with our lesson plan. Then we can share the knowledge to the student easily. And other point we talk about well preparation. That is talking about teacher need to prepare well with something material or the class, like as table, marker, whiteboard, eraser, eraser. That is going to talk about preparation well. According to my teaching, I have an experience related to the teaching like well preparation. Before I go to teach, I prepare well with my lesson, or I have to have a lesson plan and then like to have a handout for my student. It is easy to and save the time for my student during my teaching. And also prepare some material like a marker, ruler, eraser, and we also need to erase well with whiteboard to make them our student clear with our writing. That is talking about well preparation. And also focus on our course, and also that is need to prepare well. That is the teacher. It is focus on well preparation. And we go to the next slide, talking about point to be improved. Point to be improved is talking about 3 points. The first point is talk about lack of time management, and second voice, and the last talk about confidence. So in lack of time management, it is very hard to control for the teacher. According to my experience, some students they didn't arrive the class yet. So we can wait. That is have a question to ask the teacher. The teacher should start the class or wait the student. So it is very important if you start the class during your student not yet at all in the class. So how about other students? So you will teach them again, or the student come already will ask you about what you teach at the moment. So it is very important for the teacher. And this also, for me, I spend 5 minutes or 7 minutes to wait my student, because it is for our student that can listen all together. It's easy to teach them for this. And it also see about the lesson plan. It needs to control the time arrangement. Like if we fail, we give more the time to wait the student, it will be late your lesson, or you cannot complete your lesson, follow to the lesson plan. It is very important. And second point, we talk about voice. It is also important for the teacher during your teaching. If you speak loud or low down, you need to know that the class is big or small, or you need to know about the student that sits at the back can clear with your explanation, or when you speak loud, it is loud enough for your student or not. So it depends on the class that we teaching. So the teacher makes sure that the class and make sure your voice is loud enough for the student. And for my experience, it is also good for voice, because I am sure with my voice. And second point, we talk with confidence. It is also very important for the teacher, because of if you teach your student without confidence, so how can you teach? It feels little, so how can you teach your student? It's very hard. Confidence is very important. Like yes, confidence very important for student and for the teacher also. And before I start the class, all those I try to my best before I start the class. I am not confidently with my teaching, but when I go to teach my student 10 minutes, or I can start after 10 minutes or 5 minutes, I feel confidently with my teaching because of my student cooperating well with my teaching, and I am also control well with their teaching. I let them work in pair and have enough paper to let them do a homework. So it is my confidence after the teaching. No, during after I can teach them 5 or 10 minutes, I am confidently with my teaching. So we move to the next slide that talking about resolution of the problem. That is the after I teach and I got some evaluation from the teacher and some comment from my group member to comment about me. I have like a lack of time management because it is when we focus on the lesson plan should be complete well, but when we spend the time, same time for your student that they come late, we wait 3 or 5 minutes, so will be late for the lesson. And I am also spend the same time to the main point in the lesson plan, so will late with other point with my time arrangement. And weight control also. Weight control when before I am speak loud enough, but when it is the first teaching of my teaching, so after mean that the first I can say loud enough for my student, but it nearly complete or nearly finish my term, I feel sore throat and my voice it can go down. So it is the last term of my teaching. And confident, like I told you before I don't have enough confidence, but after I start the class 5 or 10 minutes, I am confidently with it. And teacher also comment to me and give me an advice. You should try to confidently before your teaching, so you can complete it well with your teaching. And one more point we talk about get more experience. That is very important for the teacher also, and also important for me because of when we teach a lot, we will get a lot of experience. The more you teach, the more you get knowledge from your student, from your research. So we are a teacher, we need to get more experience from our teaching, from our students. It is very important. And other part, we talk about must be clear with the lesson. You know that it is very, very important for the teacher. If you don't clear with your lesson, so how can you share the knowledge to your student? If you come to teach, don't know about the point that you start, or you don't know clear with your grammar, your everything of your lesson, so student don't have the confidence to study with you. So that is very important for the teacher. And the last point we talk about self-motivate. It's also important because of if we cannot, the people live around the world, everybody need to motivate yourself. Motivate is very important. If you don't have the motivate, you cannot do anything. When you share or you hope that you need to motivate from your student or from your love, from your family, so you will get more power and powerful with your work, with your study, and you can do everything well. And for my presentation today, talking about classroom management, and it also finished, I would like to say thank you for all audience to pay attention with me, and I would like to invite to the next presenter, Mr. Bonjiva, to presentation about methodology. So, thank you.
before I go to present today, I would like to respect again to my rector and all examiner and supervisor and all ladies and gentlemen that we joined to listen today. Today, I'm really excited that the school got opportunity for me to come to do the practicum different today. I am responsible for methodology. What is methodology? Methodology refers to the principle, pedagogy, strategy that teacher need to management in classroom construction. In our teaching related to teaching methodology, the quality of importance of education, it is very important for the teacher come to take to the student. And when I go to teaching practicum, I just go to center, teacher center approach, student center approach. What is teacher center approach and what is student center approach? Student center approach. Student center approach, that means the student activities in the class and the teacher are passive. So the student need to discuss in the class and the teacher only control to the class and divide to the class. And in terms of student center approach, the teacher need to divide individual group, pair work, group work, presentation, and then teacher sum up and add more idea to the student. Yes. For example, when the teacher thinks about the reading, the teacher need to give the chance for the student to read about the lesson or passage that the teacher said in the class. And then the teacher need to control all the class about the student, how the student do the topic that the teacher said to the student. So when the teacher do like it, the student have more activity and the student pay attention to the class. And the student, they are discussed and they will get more knowledge or get more idea when they do like this. Furthermore, the teacher not only divide individual group, the individual group, the teacher need to divide in a group. For example, in the class, the teacher need to divide 3 or 4 groups up to the student in the class. The teacher need to divide and then give the topic for the student to discuss about the topic. And then when the teacher do like this, it is give the chance for the student to discuss. Presentation. About presentation. Presentation, when the student discuss in the group all this, so teacher need to select one student to come to presentation about the topic. It is to make student confident, make the student clearly about the topic. Yes. About sum up or add more idea. Sum up or add more idea. The teacher need to summarize about the topic or sum up the activity or the presenter or student. And then the teacher add more idea to the student or give recommend or give the recommend to the student. Yes. So right now we go to the next point. related to students, teacher-centered approach. That means TTT. That means teacher talking time. At this point, teacher very hardworking and very hard with control to the student, because teacher need to control all the student, need to explain to the student, need to ask the question, and then try to give answer to the student. There are 3 points of teacher-centered approach: question, explanation of teacher, and controlling all the students in the class. Question: the teacher needs to give the chance to the student, like write in the whiteboard and then ask question to the student, and student give the chance to the student find the answer in the passage or in the topic, and then give the student to stand up and then answer to the teacher what is the teacher asked to the student. Explanation: when the student do the topic, it is not through all points the teacher needs to explain about the point, about the topic that the teacher do. Yes, the teacher needs to explain to the student the good point that the teacher give to them. Controlling, it is very important for the teacher that need to control to the student, because when the classroom is not like loud in the sound in the class, like loud, the student they are play Facebook in the class, play game in the class. So how they can get the lesson that teacher check in the class? So the teacher needs to control all the students that they make activity back, or you the student to make activity in the class. And so right now I want to, when I go to during practicum, I need to have confidence with the student, because the confidence is very good for the teacher. If the teacher don't have confidence, so how they can control to the student. So the two methods is very important for the student when the teacher apply in the real class. So finally, we must spend time in to the student-centered approach more than teacher-centered approach. Because why we spend student-centered approach more than teacher-centered approach? Because when we make more time student-centered approach most than teacher-centered approach, the student make activity in the class, the student discuss in the class. When the teacher do like this, the teacher can control to the student, and the student will get more knowledge, get about the lesson. The student can improve more about the topic that teacher put in the class. Yes, and about the also we during practicum, it is very important to make all the students also make to the teacher to have experience, have confidence. And the method is very important when the teacher apply to the real class. It is very important. So I am thank you for school for give the chance for me to do practicum in the last month. And right now I have opportunity to come to this fund today. So I am thank you so much for the school. Yes. So my point is finished. So right now I give the chance to Mr. Kakra to responsible about conclusion. Yes, thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Jiva, for inviting me to come here to listen to speak. And first of all, I would like to take my respect to our director and to the examiner, especially my supervisor. So after my group member presentation, there's all 4 points. So now is my turn to presentation, and the last point for our conclusion. And after we go 3-4 here, and it is very important that we conduct this program because it is very important and give us a lot of the knowledge. And the first point I will talk about a great achievement of the objective of teaching practicum. Because this program it gain us and gain our knowledge and gain our experience a lot of that related to the teaching practicum. And at the same time during the process we can know more about the lesson plan. I myself at the first time I didn't know like how to set lesson plan, even though like, I don't know what word that I have to use like for M and for detail. And then I am thank you for my supervisor that he always like work hard with us and try their best to provide their knowledge to us and to teach us how to set the lesson plan and how to writing the process. You know, when we're talking about the lesson plan, if we know well how to set the lesson plan, I'm sure that our teaching will be go smoothly and properly, and I'm sure that our teaching will be effectively, because like lesson plan is like the roadmap. If we know well about the conduct or about assign the lesson plan, our teaching we will go well because like we know like how to go and how to teach. And move to the next point, teaching material. At the first time, I didn't know like even how to show my picture to my students, and then what the material that I should prepare during my teaching. And we're talking about the teaching material, we can know a lot of like we know like how to use and our like course book and our like computer and marker, and we know like how to divide the whiteboard, and we know like how to explain. And move to the next point, applying method of English teaching. Actually, as my group member present in the previous time, normally we have 2 methods, like teacher-centered approach and student-centered approach. So this is very important because if we know well, but I'm not mean that we always like prefer use like teacher-centered approach, but we based on the level of student. If you take like the low level, I'm sure that you should use the teacher-centered approach, because you know if you prefer like use student-centered approach, because the low level sometimes they didn't understand because they lack of idea and to provide idea to us. So this why I suggest you it is very important if we know clearly about the method, but if we